have already cleared, and then with that clearing of myself and my space, I cut and dissolved all cords of attachment. Why was I gonna put it there? This is actually astral travel oil, but it's very heavy on the narcissus, which is good for reaching the higher vibrational planes. So a little on my third eye in the front, a little on my crown, a little in the back of my third eye, and a little bit on my temples.
Narcissus is a plant?
Yes, it's a flower.
Okay.
It's actually really nice to sleep, but it also enhances the trance state. Now, I'm going to ground and open my channels. Nothing too serious or involved, but... Oh, and I have Meditative Minds playing in the back over there. I don't know if other people could hear it.
But just for the record, what hertz are you playing?
528, 534, 528, 432, and 936, or is it 963?
I think it's 963, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm a little bit funny right now already. All right. Clearing my mind. Becoming aware of my root chakra, as well as my earth star. And from my root chakra through my earth star, I'm creating an energetic cord to the center of the earth. Anchoring that cord, allowing that earth energy, that warm earth energy to come up through my earth star and into my base, activating both of those chakras. Allowing them to churn out whatever is there that doesn't need to be. And letting all of that earth energy flow now up through all of my chakras, all of my entire energy body. Letting it dissolve anything that doesn't need to be there, that doesn't serve my highest good. Letting the cord to the earth act like a vacuum and suck all of it out. Now I become aware of my crown chakra. And I create a cord from my crown chakra to the center of the sun. Allowing the sun energy to activate the crown and the third eye. Getting those wheels spinning to churn out whatever does not need to be there. And allowing that sun energy to come all the way down through the rest of my chakras. Sucking out what doesn't need to be there like a vacuum, but replacing it with that sun energy. Visualizing my crown opening up, all thousand of the petals like a flower. Now both of those cords, I'm extending them through the sun and through the earth to the universe. And allowing the cosmic energy to meet in my heart. Get that churning as well. And in turn, activating the rest of my chakras from those 3 points. Letting everything out. Now to open my channels, visualizing cosmic energy, opening the channels inside my head, down through my throat, and my heart. Even little chakras in my ears and eyes. Front of my third eye, the back of my third eye, down my throat, out through the eyes. If you're ever clearing your throat and then you cough, you know you're doing a good job. Heart rate is elevating a little bit. Now I'm going to call in my spirit team. Ooh, that was dizzy.
Hmm.
I think my neck is straight. Now something's holding my hand, so I'm going to go deeper within myself so they can come in. I'm integrating Sananda. He looks like a king. He's wearing a gold crown and a purple robe with gold trim. Sandals. I'm going to fully integrate now.
Okay. Just tell me when.
All right, you could start because I feel like as you go, I'll fully integrate.
All right, thank you, thank you. And who's here to talk with us today? It was Sananda, right?
Yes.
Okay. We have three names. I believe these are all the same individual. It's Jesus, Yeshua, Sananda. Those all represent the same individual. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And there being three different names for that individual, how might we understand the differences between those entities from a 3D perspective, if there are any?
Yeshua and Jesus were the same person in the same time,
Mm-hmm.
where he ascended from third dimension to fifth dimension. Lord Sananda is the seventh dimensional aspect.
Okay.
So his higher aspect.
And I've heard there is a connection to Venus somehow. How does Venus come into play with those individuals, if at all?
The heart chakra of this galaxy.
Venus is the heart chakra of the entire galaxy?
The solar system.
Solar system. There we
Right.
go. Okay. All right. And so was Jesus on Venus before he came to Earth? Or Sananda?
For a time.
Okay. And are there beings living on Venus right now?
Yes.
And what dimension do they occupy?
Seventh.
Okay. And at the time when Jesus came to Earth, is my belief that they were fourth dimensional then, or were they still seventh dimensional back then?
I'm sorry.
What dimension did the people from Venus occupy at the time that Venus came to Earth? I mean, that Jesus came to Earth?
Seventh dimension.
Seventh then, okay. All right. And is there any tie-in with the entity known as Ra? from the law of one?
No.
Okay, thank you. And Sananda, first of all, I just want to say thank you for coming forward to talk with us today and to help us with this practice. Very nice to have you. We appreciate you.
Yes.
And do you normally wear purple and gold? Is that your normal colors?
My favorite robe.
All right. It sounds very nice. Very royal. Um, Now, two of my friends today mentioned to me strange experiences going on with their crown chakra. Did this have something to do with coronal ejections or galactic waves or the Schumann resonance? What was the cause of this?
There are changes always happening at this time on this planet, and people are responding to it differently. And it's going to be different for different people based on their vibration.
Okay. Okay, so the ones that felt it in their crown.
Nothing to be scared of, but when the crown is activating as such, you must take extra time to ground and be extra careful and take things slow.
Okay. So this is something that was affecting everybody, but just not everyone noticed.
In a way,
Okay.
it affects people in different ways, so it's not as if some people may have not noticed, but they're affected differently too.
Okay.
Everybody has
I thought it was a technical issue. We're working on a all-purpose kind of a clearing and restoration protocol. We were working on that last night. The idea is that it's to be used to help people in a lot of different situations. I feel happy with how it is, but is there anything we can do to improve it in any way?
Yes, it's amazing that you're taking that kind of initiative. You must keep in mind to always use love.
Okay.
You want these other beings to grow, not to suffer.
Oh, right.
There is a time to protect yourself, yes.
But I can still use
It's
love when
more
I'm protecting
for
myself.
the all for them to grow and learn and evolve.
Okay. All right.
Always fight with love.
Right. Help them to grow and evolve. That's awesome. I love that. Thank you, Sananda.
And the best way to do that is to show the way yourself.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. Lisa and I were having some debate a little bit about if it would be possible to open up the heart chakra of any, negative reptilian types on the planet, or if it would even be appropriate. Or can you talk to me on that topic a little bit?
You cannot do it for them. You cannot force it on them, but you can inspire them to want it. You can inspire them to ask for it.
Okay. So as they're kind of interacting with us and they see that we just keep responding with love and they see that we're always in a great mood and we love our life, then eventually they might say, "What's your secret?"
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, I can really feel your love in my heart. By the way, Sananda, Lord, is it okay if I just call you Sananda? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. When Lisa was first starting to connect with you, I felt a lot of pulsing in my feet. What was that all about?
Not sure how to answer that.
Okay. Well, it's gone now, and it may not have had anything to do with what she was doing. But I was just curious. I just felt a lot of. I could really feel the blood moving around in there, anyways.
You may have sensed her.
Okay. That might have been I was kind of connected with her or something like that. Okay. And why do her shoulders often hurt when she does energetic work of any kind, whether it be Reiki or channeling?
There's a few factors to that,
Mm-hmm.
one of which is energetic cords
Oh.
to archangels that help her. It's the energies moving through while she's working. The other aspect is she has some pressure on herself.
Oh, like maybe she's trying too hard or wants to perform well or something like that.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you very much. And these chords that you're speaking of, those are actually a beneficial thing, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much. Just want to verify that. Um, Earlier, it seemed like the Yeshua version of you was trying to come through to her. Is that the case, or was that you?
Yes. I'm aware of my lower aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I can embody my lower aspect.
That's super
Higher
cool.
dimensions can experience through their lower dimensional aspects much easier than the lower dimensional aspects can experience through their higher dimensional aspects.
Sure, that makes sense. And so, was there a reason for that? Did you like specifically want to talk to us today?
I sensed you had wanted to talk to me.
All right. Thank you very much.
And she had sensed me and called me forward because she had anticipated calling someone else forward later on.
Okay. Who was that?
Archangel Michael.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Sorry about this. I'm looking at some other questions. Sananda, would it be okay if I ask a few questions about my trip to Brazil and how you saw that from your perspective?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Um, it seemed like I didn't feel any pain when I was there. Like I got hit a few times and I was looking back on it in my mind and I didn't feel anything. Can you tell me why?
Adrenaline.
Just adrenaline, okay. And it
You have
also,
protected, but it was mostly adrenaline.
okay. And it seemed like I was not hungry most of the time that I was there. Was that due to the ley lines or something else?
The lack of grounding, which you have an issue with, plus the ley line accentuated that, and plus everything that was going on.
Okay. So I was just
Your
too
mind was
distracted.
very busy the whole time.
Right. Okay. And the whole time I was there, I never really knew exactly what my mission was. I just kind of knew when it was over. Can you tell me a little bit about what was the mission?
It was a learning experience.
Okay. And it seemed like the thing that I learned the most was kind of just surrender to divine will and divine timing. Is that sort of the gist of what I was supposed to learn, or is there anything else?
Surrender to divine will, but also faith and trust in the universe is different than faith and trust in an individual.
How so?
You can have unconditional faith and trust in the universe, but you cannot have unconditional faith and trust in an individual. You can have faith, you cannot have unconditional trust in an individual you've never met and you don't know.
Okay. All right.
There was also an aspect of you being diverted from seeing Lisa.
Oh, like somebody, it wasn't time for me to meet her yet, or somebody was trying to prevent us from meeting.
Yes, both of you were not ready energetically at that time.
Okay. Oh, okay. So just a couple weeks made all the difference.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, we sure are thankful to be together. We're very, very happy about that.
It was important for her to be able to let go of that and to be able to accept your decision to go down.
Mm-hmm. Because that allowed her to kind of relinquish some controlling tendencies or something like that.
It allowed her to practice acceptance.
Mm,
And
okay.
the way the timing worked out, it allowed her to turn to her sisters.
To talk to her sisters?
Yes.
Okay. What sisters? Like her biological sister?
No.
Oh, the ones at the coast in the shaman thing.
Yes.
Okay. So she's met those people in previous lifetimes, or at least some of them?
Yes.
Okay. And they were meant to be brought together in that situation.
Yes.
And maybe I might have been a little bit of a distraction had I been there.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. And so she needs to make sure that she maintains that connection with those people from that class then? Sounds like that would be beneficial.
Yes. They're meant to help each other.
Wonderful. All right. And now I have some concerns about one of the items I left behind in Brazil. Is my computer. It's got a lot of personal information, a lot of videos that are important to me. Should I worry about that at all? Should I make any effort to get that back?
No.
Okay. So I was meant to not come back with that, or it just doesn't matter.
You need to trust in the universe.
Okay.
What's done is
Thank
done.
you. All right. We had a session one time where we went up to Nibiru. We met Mary Magdalene there, and we brought her back to the Hall of Remembering. Is she still currently residing there mostly?
She goes there from time to time.
Okay. And how long will it be safe for Lisa and I in California? I've been getting a lot of messages. People are telling me they see it dropping into the ocean or something.
I can't answer that for certain, but you will know before it's time to leave.
Okay. Perfect. And we went through all my questions that I had for today pretty quickly. Is there any message that you would like to give to us, or anything, any knowledge you'd like to leave us with before we end today?
To always act out of love and not out of anger.
Mm-hmm.
To always act with forgiveness and not out of resentment.
Right, right.
We need to protect ourselves, but we also need to pave the way for a new age. We need to pave the way for a better way. And if we don't set the example, nobody will, and nobody will follow.
Thank you, Sananda. I needed to hear that. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Let me just double check here and make sure I don't have anything else that I would like to ask about. Are there underground extraterrestrial bases in Alaska?
Yes.
Okay. And we hear that there's 3 of them. It makes up sort of what they call the Alaskan Triangle. Do people have that right?
Yes.
Okay. And those ETs, are they benevolent or malevolent?
They're benevolent.
Okay, perfect.
They've been abandoned for quite some time, those bases.
Oh, like maybe their ship crashed or something and they haven't been able to get off the planet?
They've just been abandoned.
Maybe they came off
They're
the ship
no
and the ship
longer
left?
in use. They're artifacts.
Oh, okay. Oh, so these ETs are in basically bases that had been abandoned, and they just took up residence there.
No, these are bases that are empty and abandoned.
Okay, the bases are empty and abandoned. Okay. Thank you.
It's getting smoky in here.
Okay. So we're gonna thank you for coming through.
I had to stop. It's not smoky in here, but I feel like there's smoke in my eyes.
Your face just kind of started to turn a little bit red there too, and even your hands are a hair.
My eyes are burning.
Don't forget to say your thank yous.
Thank you. I was going to try to, Thank you. I'm sorry about that.
Thank you, Sananda. We really appreciate you. We enjoyed your presence.
Being around me and hanging out and guiding us. I know you'll continue, and I want you to be with us forever and always. From the bottom of my heart, it was unconditional love. Thank you again.
Yes, we appreciate it very much. Yeah, like literally the only problem with Sananda is he just whips out the answer so fast. He's just real short. Boring. Some people ramble a little more, and everybody has different personality, but we get through everything so fast. I feel like if I was to deal with him, I would want to have like twice as many questions, But good, interesting answers, for a bunch of stuff that I just kind of whipped out off the top of my head. He was wearing the purple and gold, which to me I felt like was very royal coloring, and they call him Lord Sananda. But it reminded me of Saint Germain or some other people too. So I was just like, "Wow, is that your normal color?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's my favorite robe, anyways." And so here, let's tell you what else we went over. How's your memory of that session, by the way?
Half and half. Like if you told me stuff, I'd be like, oh yeah.
Right.
But I was trying to be like deep inside myself as much as possible.
Yeah, it was good. Totally different tonal inflection and speaking style than what you have. Not like when we were talking to the Seraphim version of Michael, where you almost sounded like he had an accent. And like the same thing with Saint Germain, he almost has a little bit of a slightly different accent. Sananda is just almost robotic in a sense, but I don't know if that's really a good word for it. I don't think he's anything like a robot, but
well, that could also be like, the integration of it,
Exactly. But you could tell that once you start asking me questions, and it was you, and then the more questions I'd ask, I could hear it was more and more Sananda, and you could tell it was different than the way you normally talk. Your throat chakra okay, baby?
Yeah.
Water.
How long was that?
I don't have the slightest clue. I remember you at one point saying, "Oh, it's already 5, so it'd be 6:40 there right now." But I think we goofed around and had to restart the session and everything. So probably just a hair less than an hour, if even that long. It didn't seem that long to me. So I was asking about your shoulders, and they were just saying that's because of the cords that are in there. But also because you do put a little bit of pressure on yourself. So what happens is that pressure binds up kind of where those cards are, I think is what they were saying. Mm-hmm. So just take it easy and relax. And the more we do this practice, though, you're going to know how good you really are. So you won't have any pressure anymore.
And they've been helping me. I feel like I've been getting help because I haven't seen the orthopedist. I haven't seen a chiropractor. And now, like, I'll get some shoulder pain, but now I'm able to crack my neck and it eases.
That's so funny because I can think of so many times when you went, "Oh, wow, oh, my neck just cracked, yay!" And you didn't used to say that before. So I have noticed that.
It's happening all the time now, so much easier. And one of the things I pray for in the morning is thank you for helping, my spine and neck align, and then my muscles relax so I can move around and be comfortable.
Yes, baby. Good job. So good. All right. So we were talking about the dizziness in the head, and that was just galactic waves. It was Yeshua kind of coming through, but that was just because you were thinking of them, and Sananda was going to come through Yeshua, basically. He was talking about how it's a lot easier for him to experience through the lower aspect than it is for the lower aspect to experience through him. Right? Mm-hmm. The one thing I need to go back and on my clearing and restoration protocols, I just want to make sure that I'm using enough love in that protocol and helping any of the entities, we don't even want to really call it being under attack by them anymore. Really, I think we need to come up with another word for it. But
what about a golden violet flame?
Well, that would go with Sananda's colors, wouldn't it?
And isn't gold kind of like the Christ love light that would go over the transmutation light?
Yeah. And do you remember that time that I was telling you about this idea I had of instead of taking attachments off of people to evolve it up? You remember that? It was when I was at your house.
Attachments from people, but send them off with love,
Well, I didn't feel that good about it because I knew they're getting taken up to source a lot of times, and maybe it wasn't their will. And so the idea was I was going to just evolve them or give them the opportunity, if they want to evolve to their highest, most mature aspect of themselves.
Well, the thing is with that, it takes time to evolve. And if somebody's attached to someone else, that's going to mean still a long time of them being, not right. They're not going to evolve overnight.
Well, the way you do it in a session is the same method you were talking about with your kind of new modality. What you do is you you bring up the highest version of themselves, put it in front of them, and then, so let's say you've got a worm and he's looking at a dragon, and you go, do you want to merge with that? And they go, well, yeah. And they just merge, and they're instantly evolved to their highest version. That
Is
was
that
the
possible?
technique. I think so. Yes.
I mean, like, even when you do that in sessions, they can embody their highest version, but they're not like their highest version yet, and they still have to make the choice to embody that and do the work to embody that.
I mean, you ask them if they want to merge with that aspect of themselves, and if they say yes, then you can merge them right then. And now they're their most mature version of themselves, something that you or I could not do, but they can.
Okay, the only thing I'm worried about is, let me paint a picture. And I'm
Okay.
just being, adversarial here, because if you do something like
Yeah.
that, I want it to work.
Yeah.
You have a parasite, right? A parasite, like a little worm thingy, and then you show it like it's going to be a dragon one day. Do you want to merge with that? Yeah. They'll merge, but it will embody the dragon, and it might stay, with what you did like that, for instance, for a week or two. But if its intention is only to be big and strong so it can knock more stuff down and feed on more, it's not going to stick. If its intention is to really grow and be a better being, then it could.
Yeah, because the theory that we're going on is that the highest version of yourself is always going to be much more enlightened than the lowest version of yourself.
Yeah, because some of these
So,
things, like, intention is everything.
yeah, and so to me, it's a way of bringing the light to them and letting them see how much better it is. Like, now I'm in bliss. Now I'm happy. Now I'm useful and productive. Now I'm helpful to this individual that I've always been with. And I'm big and badass too.
And I mean, a lot of those fourth dimensional entities, they're not going up to they're going to transition. They're not going to be, just burned. They're going to just transition into a new life and start over, because it just doesn't work like that. Things just don't evolve like that.
Well, the reason that we're talking about this right now is because when I asked Sananda, how can I make the clearing and restoration protocol better, he says, help those beings to grow and evolve. And so he brought up something that I'd kind of been tickling at the back of my brain already anyways. And so anyways, I'm gonna go back and look at that protocol. I'm sure that thing will be under construction for a long time, because I can always just be adding and subtracting stuff from it.
Yeah, because even us, if I could merge with, my seventh dimensional aspect, but I still won't truly be, and it'll improve things, but I won't be there until I've put in the legwork.
Well,
And some
I
of these,
believe that you and I couldn't just go do that like that. It would be circumnavigating the whole purpose of being here. But when you become an attachment that's kind of a lost soul, your reason for being here has already kind of been circumnavigated or fulfilled in a sense. And so that they would be given the opportunity, quote unquote, a bad guy can do that where we couldn't.
but what are lost souls, so to speak? There are people that were here that haven't crossed over yet and gone through the life review and the healing room and all that. So, I mean, they'd still have to come back here and transition again. What you do with those,
a little more.
you can get Archangel Azrael to escort them into the light, and it wouldn't take them up to source to be transmuted. It would take them to transition to the life review and the healing room, and then they'd be incarnated again to continue their learning process.
That's a nice compromise. It's a nice middle ground, and I am happier with that. But we're going to table it for now, and we'll continue to explore that concept as time moves on and we get opportunities to.
Yeah, because you don't want to give something with an agenda just essentially more power, and without any growth to really use it. That could backfire in a big way.
Yes. And we would obviously, in that situation, we would see the highest aspect of that being and know whether that was appropriate as well. And we would confer with the person's higher self, or even that entity's higher self, for that matter, is what I was kind of thinking about, of connecting with the attachment's higher self instead of the person's higher self, and seeing what's possible with them from that perspective.
You could see what's possible, but I'd imagine the higher self would be like, it has to transition, or else it can't become the higher self. You can't just, you can embody a higher self. You can't become the higher self until you transition or ascend. Really ascend. It's just universal law.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like when I'm trying to do like a reverse aging, I always say, with the permission of the higher self, is the higher self okay with this? And so it'd be the same thing. I'd have to have that entity's higher self's buy-in, basically. If he says, yeah, this can work, or if he says, well, you can do it, Cal, but it'll only be temporary, then I'm going to be like, all right, somebody come in the yard, this motherfucker out of here. But and honestly, that's not how I do it. Normally, I talk them out of it. I give them a better place to be. That's what I do. But just in the rare event that somebody wasn't buying it, what I was selling, I want to have another way to go other than just yarding them out of there. But anyway, I just thought it was funny that Sananda brought up the same thing, which is to approach anybody that was after us with love, to be the example for them to one day want to follow, hopefully, and to try to help them to grow and evolve. So I'm going to have to add those type of elements into my clearing and restoration protocol, and think of it as, I'm not just doing clearing and restoration for myself or the client. I'm actually doing it for whoever is attacking them too. Maybe.
Because from someone who's they don't have heart chakras, right?
So I wasn't able to verify that specifically. I said, is there a way we can activate their heart? And they're like, well, not without, you can't just do it for them, but you can give them a way to go. You can show them the way. So it sounded like he was saying that it would be possible. It's almost like it's not that they don't have a heart chakra, it's that it's not opened or activated or functional. But I didn't go into the specifics on that. I should have. But that's how I'm understanding it right now, is that there probably is one. Because think about it. How could there be positive versions of those reptiles, too? They come from the same place, the same breed. They have to. So it's got to be something where the heart chakra got activated on some of them, but not on others.
Uh-huh.
So I think when I say they only have the bottom three chakras, I should say they only have the bottom three chakras functional.
So then it would go to like make them want the heart. Maybe show them how much better it is,
Yep, that's exactly what I said to Sananda. I said, so basically, if
that's why they don't like the eternal Om. That's why they don't like Om, because Om is the heart. Om is all of creation, and they're like anti-creation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, from that, you can manifest things like, more effortlessly than they do now.
Exactly. And you get that bliss feeling that you don't have when you're separated from source, right? When you're connected to source, it's the best place to be, it's the dream. And so if they could ever experience that, even if it's just vicariously through us, because what I said to Sananda is I said, so it sounds like what you're saying is we just need to, always be so loving and so happy with our life that eventually they're going to come up to us and say, well, what's your secret? How do you do it? We keep punching you in the nuts and you keep kissing us. What's your secret? And he's like, yeah, exactly.
And something that I got, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I went to that shamanic, the angelic shamanism thing in Hatteras, when I did the past life review, and I found out all about Adam, which is where pretty much all the men come from. had more reptilian in him than the women. Have you ever seen a woman, reptilian, like in government or something, or all men?
No, I've seen women. I've seen news anchors on YouTube where
Well,
like
yeah,
the
I'm just saying it's more common.
yeah, could be, could be. I don't know about that.
I mean, I know there's
Um,
female reptilians, but I'm saying like, men, like as far as the hybrids, they're like that's more prevalent in men. Think about it, the primalness,
yeah,
the, you know,
we talk about the reptilian part of our brain, and that would be the bottom chakras, which are primal urges and impulses, domination and control, things like that. So I can see that. The other thing that's resonating with me on that topic is that, the reptiles ruled the world at one time, right?
uh-huh.
And I was talking about the Brazil trip and the way it went down, and they said, well, part of it was to delay you and Lisa getting together. So first, she needed to be able to let go and get some kind of level of acceptance was associated with that, and
I
also
need to take my
you were
ego a
supposed to,
little more. Because remember when you went down there, I kind of said some things like, "You're
yeah,
such a
yeah,
dumb."
right. You got anything to say before I block you? Right. But
Well, I mean, when I blocked you, that was legitimately because there was crazy things happening, and
yeah,
it was scary. I was getting weird messages, and it was scaring me. And I felt like, I knew you still had my email, and I felt like not being able to hear from you for a while was good for me.
yeah, and certainly anybody trying to communicate with me down there at that time would have been terrible for me. So that was certainly within the highest
Yeah,
good.
that's
Um,
true.
yeah. I remember there's a couple times you sent stuff, and I was just like, ooh, delete. I never got to look at it. I was sad because I was very interested in whatever you were sending me. But I was just like, come on, I gotta get this off of here. And, anyways, I mean, literally to the point where she like went through my wallet and was like, European auto specialist, who's that? I was like, people that work on my European car. What the fuck are you talking about? But anyways, I'm like, of all the things to get jealous of, I mean, like that's as far as she would take it. Like, is there some hot chick at the receptionist desk? I mean, maybe there is. I don't know. None of your business. But
But was it even jealousy, or she was just trying to extort you? You'd think she'd find someone like with a little more to extort from.
right.
Maybe both. Maybe she figured when it wasn't like, going her way, she was like, oh, let me just take a shit.
Yeah, it could have been, right. And she's right. And she's wanting me to say, oh, that's where they work on my Mercedes, my BMW or something,
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, they were also saying that you had needed to, part of the reason the energies weren't right for us to get together yet is because you needed to go down to the coast and meet your sisters. And I was like, oh, so I would have been a little bit of a distraction had I been there. And they're like, yeah. Right. And so you guys have, many of you have met in previous lives, and you're supposed to be helping each other in this life and staying in contact. So just want to throw
What was
that
it?
out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then let's see what else here. I
I
was
would love
worried
for
about.
Annie and all of them to be a part of our project if they wanted to be, but that's on them. Whoopsie.
And they may appreciate that more once it's up and running, and they can just come and visit too.
Yeah, because right now it still just sounds like a dream to an outsider.
Right. And you come and visit, and maybe you take away. You've got some takeaways, and you learn a few things while you're there because it's a place of learning and healing. But maybe you just say, "Can I stay?" And I'm like, "Sure, we'll be at the house."